Hello there everybody at Vinyl Community and YouTube. Happy continuing Christmas, and it's time once again to put an end of another year of 2017, and I will do that by doing my annual thing that I've done ever since I started here at Vinyl Community, my annual year in review. My walk back on the year that have passed of the record collecting year of 2017. And as usual, I have a top 10 of the best findings of the year. And between that, I will also try to give away some of 8 awards. Call them Jorgen S. Special Award for best different things, and I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can, so this video won't be like forever, but hopefully we will, if everything goes as it should, we should have a winner as the best finding of the year. And all of these records, of course, you have seen me holding up during the years in different kind of videos, whether it's vinyl and CD updates or different kind of travelogues where I have bought them in and show them. So let's start. And I will also say that I will also have a little mix with pictures of other records that I have been buying through the years, as you might have remember from my different videos. Now let's start with number 10, and number 10, the 10th best finding of the year, goes to a record that I found at Umeå Record Fair in October. That a record that really I was shocked of seeing for this price, since the artist is no longer among us, and that usually is a sign of that the prices of the artist is for the records are rising to very expensive limits. But this one I managed to find for just $6, which is pretty amazing for this artist. So I was real happy, and of course I'm talking about David Bowie and the Stages album, the live album. It has been another real good David Bowie year, where I found many David Bowie albums. I think I have found 4 of them this year. So I couldn't pick also Scary Monsters. I couldn't pick Station to Station, but I picked this one because it felt so special with this double LP set live album for just $6. David Bowie, real great one. So this is number 10. Number 9 goes to the Record Fair in Sundsvall half year earlier, in April, where I found this year's best soul finding, an album that really knocked me when I heard it. Not all that expensive or special, but first of all, it takes me to a TV show that I from time to time watches from YouTube, Soul Train. A fantastic and a real funny and relaxing show to look at actually. And at Soul Train they have a bunch of dancers who dances around to the soul tracks that are playing by some DJ in the back. And that dancers first were called Soul Train Gang. However, that later on the show became so big that they actually made a group with soul musicians that they called the Soul Train Gang. I never knew this. I never knew that it released an album, but when I heard it, I felt it was so amazing. Fantastic smooth soul and funky soul, among the best I ever heard of this Soul Train Gang. The self-titled. This is, from what I understand, their second album, and it is also produced by Don Cornelius, the host of Soul Train. Really funky, both funky, relaxing, amazing 70s soul record, among the best that I ever have heard actually. So I felt like I must have this one on the chart. Number 8 goes to an album that I found at a trip that I made to Härnösand, call it neighbor community up here, and there I visited then the only record store we have in the district, and it was an amazing place. A guy who made his record store inside of his house. It was an amazing place. Found some real great records there. Of course I made a travelogue from there, so you can watch how it looked like that in that video if you go back. But I found also there an album that I wanted to have for so long. The music itself I found twice this year. I found it with Swedish musician Bernt Rosengren on CD early in this year. And I also found it in the most famous version, for jazz that is, Miles Davis, Porgy and Bess. I paid around $9-10 for this, but it was worth every penny, every krona of it. So magnificent, relaxing and fantastic, played with Gil Evans Orchestra. Real fantastic album. Definitely one of Miles Davis' best performances in my opinion. So with that, let's take a little break and take a look at some of the awards that I will give to some records or things that has to do with my collecting or music to do that have been happening during this year.
This year's musical discovery goes to Brothers Johnson, 2 albums by a fantastic and funky band that I haven't hardly listened to at all and now discovered were perfect. This year's covers lead goes to Swedish group Kent and their album Då som nu för alltid, a real cool and little scary cover from one band's absolutely final album. This year's buying moment goes to Umeå Record Fair, a great experience of discovering a new record fair, meet other sellers and buy as much albums as I could during a weekend vacation. And the award for the best shocking moment goes to Vinylstallet, a new record store that was opened in Sundsvall after years of only having to buy records from thrift stores and flea markets.
With that, let's move on with the countdown of the best finding of the year. We have come to number 7. Here it was a little trouble. I felt like I wanted to have more than one album here, but felt like now maybe it wouldn't be real. I don't know. It felt some didn't feel right. So I could have paid this. We're talking about records that I got from Paul Baraka P Dub during the summer. He sent me a VCLT, and I could have had all 3 records here. We could have had this one, Beacon's Escapements, a real relaxing and great synth pop album. We could have the album that Baraka P Dub actually wanted to send me, Tapestry Cal King, that I really felt I wanted to have it, but I felt also like I can't have same artist on 2 places at the same time on this chart, because I have a Carole King finding later up also. So this is definitely an honorable mention, both these 2. But I chosen, after long thinking, this one, Sidewinder, Lee Morgan, that he sent me. I was real shocked when I saw this in the package when I opened it, because the album was so fantastic fine looking. It was a real magnificent quality, real knocked me out. And the album, of course, magnificent quality, as it was new. And the music was also real fantastic, great, better, way better than I could have expected, because I'm not a huge fan of hard bop, but this one was really good actually. So highly recommended. When it comes to number 6, here is a couple of records that more or less are all from the same finding moment and buying moment, and I felt like since they are bought at the same time, I felt, why not? And it is best findings of this year. Not necessarily the best album or the best artist of the year. I felt like I chose all of them to share place number 6. I'm talking about a couple of albums that I bought at the flea market in June, I think, May or June. I was pretty shocked because this flea market, first of all, I had no idea that this flea market existed, and it was shocked to see so much great jazz albums. Antikt och annat is the name of the store, and I found these great CDs with more or less just Swedish, with Swedish jazz. And most of them are with this artist Lars Gullin. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 records with Lars Gullin that were amazing, fantastic CDs with this legendary Swedish jazz musician. And I felt like there are some of the collections that are from a, in Sweden, well-known series. It is this great Find Together artistry of Lars Gullin with strings, and Lars Gullin live in Germany. Fantastic. And also this, who is a musician who played a lot with Lars Gullin. Lars Gullin is not here though. Rolf Billberg. In some great recordings from the 60s. So all of these shares place number 6. Come to place number 5, and here we come to the other, the Carole King finding that I talked about, that I have actually wanted to felt like I had to place it before Tapestry, and it is of course because of the fact that it is a box. Is this Carole King, the real Carole King Ultimate Collection 3 CD set. I have listened to 2 of them. Real great. All of these tracks are from the 70s. And amazing to have some of 45, 6, 7, 8, 49, almost 50 tracks of Kel King in this box. Amazing. Also, not a low budget release. This is released on Sony. So fantastic. Definitely, I wanted to have this one on the chart of best findings. So, we're halfway through almost, and there are other records that I have also been finding that I wanted to have here. It has been totally, when it comes to this year 2017, a great year. There hasn't been raining records like it did in 2016, because I have more focus on, maybe I focus more on quality than quantity. I feel I found so many great quality records, and not only flea market findings, but it's been a fantastic, great collecting year, no doubt about it. I'm very satisfied, and also satisfied, as you've seen, that I have gotten more space. You can see here behind the Christmas tree and the new shelf that I have to find even more in 2018. But when it comes to 2017, let's take a little short look at some other records that I have been finding during the past year.
Lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick.
So these records, you might say, is on just right outside of this top 10, because they are great ones, all of them. Great collecting year 2017. Now we have 4 places left, plus some 4 awards also to give out. Place number 4 goes to CD. Actually, you might forgive me that it's a lot of CDs now here at the top, at top 10 overall. I don't know why. It is maybe because I bought so many great CDs. I bought many great vinyls also, but just happened to be this way. But these CDs were also some of the best. It's definitely best music that I have found this year. Number 4, I made an order to the web shop Ginza, and it was a great one. All of these records that I bought there, I bought at the same time the Carole King box, and I bought a double CD with Boyd Raeburn that you saw in the mix. And I also bought this one with my absolute favorite Swedish artist, composer, singer, Peter Lemark. It is what he himself has labeled as the final album that he will do, and it is called Den tunna tråden, the thin thread, or the thin line, I might call it. It is a very, very interesting and serious album where he talks about life, death, how life general. It's fantastic lyrics. It's so amazing lyrics, and the interesting thing that the reason why he has said that he will stop doing records is that he feels that he is an album person. He doesn't want to release tracks on just on Spotify and then nobody gives a damn about the album. They just picked various songs, and he is an album guy. And if the albums now are what he says is not all that popular, then he feels like he doesn't want to do albums because he wants to release albums. And you can say what you want about that, but it's very interesting motives. But I really like this album. It is fantastic, a real relaxing, a real thoughtful album that if you know Swedish, listen closely to the lyrics, it makes you think, it makes you real listen closely. So amazing produced also. So a real nice book here also. So highly recommended. Peter Lemark, Den tunna tråden. Number 3. It's hard to do this. Could have picked many albums here at the number 1. It was definitely not easy to do this chart this year. This album I could of course have picked as number 1. It's my favorite band, but I guess number 3 ain't bad either. I wanted to have this one. It felt, of course, natural to have Depeche Mode's Spirit that I ordered at Ginza. And I also made a special live opening of this album when I got it. Depeche Mode's new album, Spirit, an album with a whole lot of serious words about the world we live in. Almost a political album when it comes to Depeche Mode. This is an album that contains both the ordinary record and a bonus remix album also, a double album set, and interesting pictures from both promotion picture and from the video. But real great albums and album, I'm gonna say. And some real great ones here. Cover Me, amazing song, Cover Me. Real relaxing and such a fantastic produced and hypnotic almost. So definitely one of Depeche Mode's best albums, at least after the year 2000. So, getting close. There's only 2 places left. Number 2 goes to another album that I bought from Ginza. A lot of CDs I bought from Ginza that was so high quality. I bought this one also at, I don't know, I bought it at the same time also as Carole King and Peter Lemark, I think. A whole lot of Jimmy Smith this year. And I said in the very first vinyl CD update for January that this will be, feel that this will be a Jimmy Smith year. I will find a lot of Jimmy Smith. I couldn't imagine how right I would be, how right I would be when it comes to that it really became a Jimmy Smith year. I have never bought so much Jimmy Smith albums as I have this year. I could have picked any of those, but of course I felt like the thing that felt greatest about having is this box set, 10 CD box set, released by House of Jazz, with recordings only from the 50s, his earliest recordings on the 10 CD box set. and I listened to. I think I'm halfway through it, and it's really fantastic, well made. It's so much jazz with Hammond organ, and both relaxing, it's swinging, and it contains everything. Highly recommended. So before we go to the number one, let's have a look at 4 other awards that I will give out that have been happening through the years. And when we are already at Jimmy Smith,
The award for the best bought artist of the year is a tie between Jimmy Smith and Lars Gullin, with 7 records each that I have found during 1 year. A new record of the most records found by one artist in 1 year. The award for the best concert of the year goes to Grace Kelly, saxophone player, and High Coast Big Band at the Sundsvall Square in May. An amazing jazz experience with one of the world's best female jazz musicians, schooled by a legend of a kind, Lee Konitz. The award for the best song of the year goes to Depeche Mode and their single Where's the Revolution, one of Depeche Mode's strongest singles in many years, with strong beat, strong production, and a real strong message. The award for the biggest disappointment of the year goes to Toad the Wet Sprocket and their album Fear. A real disappointment, where the hope of one amazing 90s song, Walk on the Ocean, turned into a boring and totally uninteresting listening experience.
Song of the year went to Depeche Mode and Where's the Revolution. Not a huge surprise, I think, because it knocked me out when I heard it the first time. It felt that it was so many great songs that Depeche Mode have done, but it was definitely one of the best singles that I ever released in a long time. But the best album of the year was an album that the more I think of it, maybe it was pretty natural that this one is number 1, because I became this happy when I found it in Stockholm.
I found it. I finally found it. Around $10, but who gives a damn? I want it. I found it.
That is how happy I looked like when I got it. And of course, it is Chicago Transit Authority that I've been looking for so long. And finally, I got it in a real nice copy of it. A classic masterwork with music that really was... It definitely lived up to all my expectations. It was definitely a fantastic album. With I'm a Man and Someday, Someday, August 29th, 1968, a real great, interesting song. And of course, does anybody know what time it is? Beginnings, question 68 and 67. No, 67, 68. Real amazing album that highly recommended if you haven't listened to it. It's definitely one of the funkiest stuff that were released in the 60s, in my opinion. So, and as I've waited so long to find a great copy of this one, it was natural that this one was number 1. So, that was 2017. Let's hope that 2018 also will continue to be this great. I don't know what goal I will put up. I will make a separate video if I'll put up any goals this year, as I did during January 2017. So, but until next time, I wish each and every one of you, my subscribers, everyone who watches this video, a very happy new year. See you in 2018, and take it easy during New Year's Eve with the fireworks and everything like that, with drinking. Take care of everybody, and Happy New Year!